Good evening, I'm Destiny Patterson. Thanks for watching our weekend edition of KSLA News 12. Let's get you caught up. A man is in life-threatening condition tonight after being shot in the head. Shreveport police say the victim was sitting in a black SUV when a suspect shot at him multiple times. At least one of those hit the victim in the head. And officers tell us the victim and the suspect likely knew each other. The victim was taken to a local hospital while police look for that suspect. We also have a silver alert out of Sevier County, Arkansas tonight. The sheriff's office is looking for this man, 86-year-old Jerry McCoy. McCoy was reported missing yesterday afternoon in DeQueen. Deputies say he's 5 feet, 7 inches tall and weighs 165 pounds. McCoy may also be traveling in a 2016 black Nissan Frontier. So if you have any information, you're asked to call that number that you see there on your screen.
Well, good evening, everyone. Hopefully you guys have had a great Saturday thus far and taking a look and keeping you guys updated of what we're tracking here as we go into the rest of this evening. Still looking at the severe thunderstorm watch that goes until 11 p.m. Areas included in that: Lafayette and Columbia County, Caddo, Bossier, Webster, Claiborne and Parish, as well as DeSoto, Red River and Bienville Parish. Harrison County on down towards Panola and Shelby County included in that severe thunderstorm watch until 11 o'clock this evening. Now, as we take a live look at first alert Doppler radar, the last couple of hours we've seen fairly quiet skies across parts of the ArkLaTex, but within the last 30 minutes or so, showers and storms have just begun developing in northern DeSoto Parish right now, dropping some very heavy rainfall as well as some showers, some storms over here near Longstreet, just to the south of Keachai along I-49, also looking at some heavy rainfall. Right now, again, some strong storms, not seeing anything severe in our areas in the ArkLaTex just yet. Hopefully it stays that way, but we are seeing some showers and storms out there right now. Temperature-wise, still fairly warm, 64 degrees right now in Idabelt, 65 in DeQueen, currently 73 in Texarkana and in Marshall, Texas, mid to upper 70s Mansfield, Natchitoches, even in Shreveport. As we go throughout the rest of the evening, not everybody will see showers, but we could see some areas see a little bit more redevelopment of showers. We'll track that out coming up in your full forecast.
Over in Houghton, police arrested 3 people after a high-speed chase. Police say they spotted a black Jeep SUV with a switched license plate following a yellow motorcycle. When police tried to stop both vehicles, they sped away, reaching more than 100 miles per hour. Authorities found meth and fake cash inside of that Jeep and learned that it was stolen from Texas. Both the driver and the passenger had active warrants for their arrest. Meanwhile, the driver of the motorcycle did not have a valid driver's license, registration, or insurance.
Election coverage on KSLA News 12 starts now.
The fate of millions of dollars of funding for a few of our area's school districts were in the hands of voters in Louisiana on this election day. Also on the ballot today, a pair of mayoral runoff races and several tax renewals in many of our parishes. Let's start with the election results in Bossier Parish first. 3 school board propositions were before voters in Bossier Parish. They generate around $48 million annually for the school district. That money pays for salaries and benefits and general school building improvements and maintenance. Tonight, voters said yes to all 3 of those propositions. Number 1 passed with 84% of the vote. Voters approved number 2 by 85%, and number 3 passed with 84% as well. Unofficial numbers from the Secretary of State's office show that there were only about an 11% turnout for these races. The Caddo Parish School Board also had 3 tax propositions before voters today, and these taxes account for roughly $65 million each year to the school district. That money takes care of things like salaries, upkeep of facilities, classroom technology, and school bus maintenance. Tonight, Caddo Parish voters approved all 3 of those tax renewals as well. Proposition 1 passed with 80%, Proposition 2 passed with 78%, and Proposition 3 was approved by 80%. Just like in Bossier Parish, turnout for this election was very low. Unofficial numbers from the Secretary of State's office put the turnout at just 7%. Taking a look at Natchitoches Parish, they also had a school board tax renewal on the ballot, and tonight it passed with 68% of the vote. Switching gears here, turning to a pair of runoff races. Incumbent Mansfield Mayor John Mayweather Sr. faced off against challenger Thomas Jones for a second time. And tonight, Jones came out on top, unseating Mayweather. Jones took the race with 60% of the vote. In Natchitoches Parish, Natchez Mayor Rosia Lee Humphrey was challenged by Patsy Hoover for the town's mayoral seat. And tonight, voters chose Hoover as the town's new mayor. Hoover won with 56% of the vote there. In Sabine Parish, voters there were asked to approve a 1/4-cent sales tax renewal that helps fund law enforcement. We've only got 74% reporting here, but it looks like it's leading, yes, 77% there in that race. But as we said, we're still waiting for some numbers in that case. Now, for the rest of tonight's results, just watch the bottom of your screen. We'll have them running below, or you can find all of the election numbers in your KSLA News 12 app. Shreveport Councilman Greason Butcher says he wants to continue representing South Shreveport. He announced his run for re-election for City Council, and he says the decision to run again wasn't easy, but he says it was something that he felt was necessary for both him and the city.
I consider myself to be a watchdog. A lot of people in City Hall call me the investigator because I like to dig into stuff. But the job, the important part of the job for me is taking care of my district. And I think that if you started with a whole new city council, you have a new District C, a new District D, you're going to have a new District E most likely. I think South Shreveport deserves representation.
Qualifying for the November mayor and council election starts in July. Now we're a few days into Spring Fest at the State Fairgrounds, and KSLA News 12's Jade Myers, she gave us a look at the safety and the security measures that are in place.
I think we've got just about every measure in place. You see lots of families out here and enjoying themselves, and it really is a safe place to come to.
Giordano said safety is a top priority at Spring Fest.
At our gates, everyone that's coming in will be metal detected to check for any weapons or anything. And then we also search bags at the gates. And then once coming into the park, you'll see a lot of police officers here.
He said they have a 32 camera system that shows about every point inside the fest.
Those cameras are tied into the real-time crime center, which is also tied into the police command bus that's on site here, so that the commander on the bus can radio officers that are patrolling the midway just if they see a potential problem in any area.
Giordano also shared safety tips for fest goers.
As far as families coming out to the fair with their small children and such, to try not to let them wander off. And then with the carnival rides and stuff, each one of the carnival rides has different rules for the ride. I ask that you please follow those rules. They're in there for your own safety.
Springfest ends next week on May 8th. Jade Myers, KSLA News 12.
The Texarkana, Arkansas Recreation Center was the place for giving today. Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity Kappa Gamma Lambda chapter honored 6 outstanding high school students this afternoon with scholarships. Fraternity leaders say some students excel academically and others athletically. The students attend schools in Texarkana, Hooks, Texas, and Hope, Arkansas. The fraternity presented each young man a scholarship of $1,000.
That through community service and other events, they have risen to the top of their class, and we want to acknowledge them here today. But these guys were so great that Alpha Phi Alpha decided to step up and do more to be able to sow seeds into their future.
The students were selected after submitting essays about their future goals. This is the first year the fraternity has made this commitment to students in and around the Texarkana area. Now, this is the last day of Autism Acceptance Month, and today a Shreveport organization raised awareness about the disorder. XL Autism Behavioral Education and Development Center held their second Autism Walk, where they celebrated people with autism.
It's great that we have this month to recognize it, but we can't forget that families are dealing with it every day. And unfortunately, some of our kids are a little bit rougher around the edges than others. And so they have to deal with that, you know. And so what would be nice is not to just recognize it and accept it in April, but we do it all months of the year.
Montgomery says they plan to have more autism walks in the future.
Well, coming up next, we'll continue to take a look at the showers and storms still trying to develop this evening and take a look at what we can expect heading into Sunday morning.
We'll also take a look at a community coming together for the love of baseball. Plus, new details are emerging about the U.S. soldier killed while fighting in Ukraine. That story and more when we get back.